So I'm Peter Dart. I'm the owner of a vineyard called Stanlake Park. I've been the owner for 6 years. My expertise is not winemaking. It's certainly not viticulture. I like drinking the wine, and I'm a marketer by training. How did I get involved with making wine? Well, if I told you by impulse, in a mad moment, as my wife would say, I wasn't thinking of owning a vineyard. I certainly wasn't thinking of being a wine producer. But it came up for sale. The estate goes back many hundred years. It comes with a lovely Tudor manor house. And the previous owner, John Layton, that established the vineyard, he called it Valley Vineyards, decided to sell. And I just happened to be reading the paper, the Sunday Times, that day, and it was up for sale. And the headline was, "Fancy owning an English vineyard in Berkshire?" And I said to my wife, well, actually I do. And the next thing I did is I went there, tasted all the wine, and I really thought it was excellent. I had a winemaker that's been there for 18 years, Vince Gower, and it was a big competition to buy it, I have to say. I had lots of other people bidding, but I was successful, and we moved in 6 years ago. So it was a bit, I've always been interested in wine, don't get me wrong, but it was a little bit of happenstance and coincidence that this happened. So here's our top-of-the-range Stanlake Park sparkling wine made in the traditional method. Very light in colour, as a lot of English wine is, and this has been made in about 2006. The grapes were harvested in 2006. It's just in bottle, and in fact we've only just released it in the last few months. This tastes very and smells very, very similar to the yeasty notes that you get on a decent French champagne. Of course, it's not French. We aren't allowed to use the champagne word. It is very, very similar indeed. And it's not a surprise because, of course, it's made with very similar grapes, mainly Pinot Noir, some Meunier and some Chardonnay. And it's made in exactly the same way. Our disgorging equipment even comes from Epernay. I'm going to give it a taste now. It's light. It's quite fresh. It's only been disgorged a couple of months. Biscuity notes, typical yeasty notes, because of course in the second fermentation the wine is resting on its lees. We have to riddle the bottles to mix it all up. Do you know, I can honestly say I would find, if I did not know this was English sparkling wine or English fizz, I'd find it very hard to tell the difference from French champagne. Let me let you into a little story. We had a champagne challenge last year. About 500 people came to our vineyard in Stanlake Park, and we blind tasted 2 of our fizzes. This is our top of the range. We also have one called Heritage Brut and 2 champagnes. We blind tasted them. We covered the bottles up so people couldn't see what was up. We mixed people made me mix the bottles up, so we had a random selection of 4. I invited people to see if they could tell the difference, and out of 500 people, only 20 people got all 4 right. Probably about 30 or 40 distinguished the French from the English, but only 20 got all 4 matching the tastes with the bottles, and that absolutely stunned people. That in England now we can make fizz that really is up there with the French. In fact, I noticed I'm here at a wine tasting with the English wine producers, and I noticed that we have more English fizz now on our what we call our central table than almost any other wine. So we're getting, I think, very good at making fizz. I think we're getting a reputation in England for making something that's really quite first class. So at Stanlake, the main thing we have is a fantastic cellar shop, which is open Monday to Saturday. We don't open on Sunday, so I get a day off, but we open every other day until 5 o'clock. It's a beautifully designed shop where you can come taste all our wine. We have a dozen different wines, at Stanlake we have the full the full portfolio. We have whites and rosé and red and 4 different sparkling wines. So you can come to the cellar shop. There's a big car park, etc. You don't need to book; just turn up. And yes, we do corporate events. We've got a big cellar barn, which holds about 50 people. So we do some corporate events as well. But I have to say I'm a little bit choosy because it's not what I personally do for a living. So we tend not to. We could sell out, I think, every day of the week, but we're a little bit selective in who comes. It's certainly very, very nice, and we've got, and obviously we put on some. We don't have a restaurant, but we do put on, snacks and food for people coming if it's an event. Oh, locally, we've got about a dozen restaurants just in our area that stock the wine, and they're not all English restaurants. We've got Italian restaurants, and we've even got our wine that seems to be very popular in the local Hawali curry restaurant. We have a reputation there of we're the only wine that they have there, and it goes extremely well. And of course we've got some big wholesalers selling us across London. I heard we were in Simpsons the other day. Somebody was saying they had a bottle of my wine. We've been in the Dorchester Hotel. We've been on British Airways first class. So there is a great demand for decent English wine at the moment. I think that people are planting like crazy, so the supply is going to catch up, but for the moment we're in the fortunate position that we can sell pretty much what we can make.